Alright, guys. After doing a little bit more digging on the whole Daniel Penny shit, I know it's been hyped up for a while now, but I don't always follow things just because they're popular. I'll go over my personal interpretation here. So, I lost a lot of respect from the left, or many people on the left, anyhow, with the hell's that dude's name? My memory's terrible. The Jeez, I'm gonna have to look it up. If I can even figure out how to frickin' search it. Kyle Rittenhouse. That's what I was looking for. With the whole Kyle Rittenhouse deal, I had a live stream during that time, and some people, not all, were critical about my take, and that's fine. That's kind of that these things are gonna be heated, but I agreed with the verdict, and he was not guilty, all that good stuff. So a lot of people are trying to make comparisons, and I don't think that they're accurate at all. They're like low IQ takes. Um, so yeah, with that situation, I agreed that Kyle Rittenhouse was not guilty, and even said that I hope that he is found not guilty. So there's other issues there. There's like the whole thing that he showed up the like white power thingy and all that stuff, which may actually be true, but it's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. What matters is it's all like a smokescreen, like emotional manipulation, which is going on in this case, by the way, with Daniel Penny, and I'll get to that in a moment. But what matters is in the situation, I believe Kyle Rittenhouse was completely within his rights to defend himself, and I believe that the situation did show that it was defense. Uh, Again, I also made the claim that he shouldn't have been there in the first place, that he was a fucking idiot for even showing up and probably was looking for trouble, but still, established in the actual facts of the case, putting all emotion aside and how I feel about him as a person, all that, I believe that it was the correct verdict. Now, in this case, I'm going to completely disagree with Daniel Penny. The reason why is because it's not at all comparable. So, people have a tendency to let emotion affect their judgment on these situations. It's why juries and it's why like attorneys, lawyers will fucking have all of these tactics to affect the emotional situation of jury members. And it's very effective. And the different media will try to push you in different directions, but uh, all right. So in the situation, I'm not trying to make fucking Neely look like a good guy. He's not. He's uh, People brought up all the times that he's been arrested, all that good stuff. Fucking relevant. Doesn't matter. It does not matter to the case. So, one, uh, Jesus Christ, I can't even fucking remember his name. Daniel Penny. Wasn't aware of any of that. It's just a random African American dude on a train. So it does not go into the actions of Daniel Penny, which means it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he was if frickin' Neely was a fucking homicidal murderer. Does not matter. Irrelevant. That's emotional bullshittery. So the facts of the situation are what matters. And by the way, I don't think that it should have been classified as a homicide, and it wasn't. The charges weren't. It was it was negligent homicide specifically, and I agree with that. So, in this situation, in pretty much all cases, when you defend yourself, you have to meet the threat level with equal force. And in this particular case, the chokehold, the initial chokehold, absolutely fine. Like, have no problem with it. I can even say that it was defense, and you can even use defense in the case of like threats toward others, and that's fine. I'm completely cool with that. So the issue here is that it was above and beyond defense. You can't make the claim that the entire thing was just defense. That's like hilariously retarded. So there are people who claim that he's a hero, and I can agree with that to a certain extent. So he's a hero that he stepped in when no one else would. The guy was a potential threat to other people, and people some people are claiming that he was having like a mental breakdown, which I think is likely given the situation. And so the issue is, should he went as far as he did? And the clear answer is no, especially by the law standards. So he held this choke for 6 minutes, which I don't think a lot of people are like getting the gravity of that. That's a long, long time. Um, Long after he had went limp, he maintained pressure, and that led to his death. Like it's just funny if you fall for the synthetic marijuana shit and uh, they tried to make a case. The defense tried to make the case that some random DNA trait was responsible for his death, and it's like a trait that like insane amounts of people have, and it's like completely irrelevant to the entire deal. It's like hilarious they even tried to pull that. But anyhow, uh, clearly the death was caused by the choke. Like let's get all the other bullshit out of the way before we even continue here. Like it was clear, obvious as fuck that that's what killed Neely. So going forward here, not only did he continue to apply the chokehold long after Neely went limp, but and this is establishing threat level, and that goes back to what I said with you have to meet the threat with equal force. And once the threat is no longer a threat, you have to stop. That's how it works. That's how it works everywhere. So, yeah, not only did he continue to apply the chokehold, which I think on its own merits a charge. I think he should have been charged for sure. And that it's probably some racist shit that he wasn't. But there's more. Not only that, but there was also another passenger that was holding Neely down. He had his arms. So you could make the case that the chokehold itself was a little bit too much considering that fact. But I won't even go that far. I'm fine with the choke. I'm not fine with the amount of time that he held it. Now, so going into intent here, do I think that uh, Daniel Penny purposefully was trying to kill Neely? No, I don't. I don't think he was looking for a fucking man, like a fucking homicide charge. I think that he kind of got in the heat of the moment and fucking reacted, and you're not thinking clearly, and he was, as people say, stepping up when no one else would. I'm fine with all that, but that is irrelevant. It doesn't matter, and that's in fact his intent at showing that he probably didn't want to kill him goes into the charge itself. It was negligent homicide, which I agree with. But so other passengers told him, like, you dude, you got that choke in frickin' pretty hardcore, like, let up, and that he should probably like stop, but he didn't. Um, on top of that, as I already said, there was another guy holding his arms, and yeah, the point at which Neely was no longer a threat was established long before Penny let up. So negligent homicide is literally built on the premise that someone died when you shouldn't have continued, or like you were negligent in some way, and that's clearly the case here. So his intent is not relevant because that's already baked into the charge, or like lack of intent anyway is baked into the charge. Otherwise, it would have been something else. But the amount of people who were just like, this man is a hero. Like, I really do believe that there's like it's like looking for an excuse to kill a black man. Because there's no other logical explanation for that sort of take. Like, I also truly believe that if roles were reversed, we would have a completely different story here, and the right wouldn't even be talking about it. They'd be trying to downplay it, or they would be talking about it. Sorry, that's not what I meant. They would be completely freaking the fuck out and going like, "There's a double standard. If it had been a white man and had done this, blah blah blah," like that, they would be talking about how he would be like fucking absolutely torched by the legal system, and there would be riots and shit. That's what they would do. It's like clear they've done it before, but it's hilarious. But it's a white dude and he's a hero. So yeah, that's my take, and yeah, I do not feel that it's even slightly comparable to the Kyle Rittenhouse deal, even though a lot of people are trying to make analogies. Yeah, that's my take. Like it, hate it, whatever you want to do.